All right. Here's my trade recap for September 2nd, 2025. I went 0 for 1 today on trades, down around $680 on the day. So let's just get right into this and see what went wrong here. So I took this trade on NASDAQ. Let me just clear all this out and I'll scale out and show you what I was looking at. So coming into the day, I had an overall bearish bias actually, and I took a long trade, but I had a bearish bias, and we had this hourly bearish for value gap right here. And where did market open? Market opened, I'll go to the 15-minute, market opened right here. So my first plan, since we opened up way down here, my plan was to look for possible longs off of 15-minute key levels to target this hourly fair value gap here. But there was never really any good, well, there were just no retraces to any key levels. We immediately got a change in the state, market structure shift to the upside right at 9:45. First candle close after market open on the 15-minute, and we just continued right up and into the hourly for value gap, and we hit it like right at 10 a.m. Let me scale in. Yeah, we entered it right at 10 a.m. So, which was fine for me because my main plan was to look for shorts then to target this low right down here. Sell side. That was my main plan. But for me to take shorts to target that, I'd need 5-minute internal manipulation inside the hourly fair value gap before I could take shorts. So we entered the fair value gap right here. Sorry. Got a strong rejection right out, and we put in this high. So I'd need that high to get taken for my system for me to take shorts on either NASDAQ or ES, and ES didn't take it either. So my plan was, all right, I need that high to get taken before I can take shorts. So I'm going to look for a possible long scalping opportunity to target that high, which is where I went wrong, but I'll go over that in a second. So I don't know why there's a candle missing here, but that's weird. There's a candle missing there, but I don't know what that's about. But here's what I was seeing. So we had this 15-minute bullish fair value gap right here. I'll put that in blue. We had this 15-minute bullish for value gap right here, and then I'll scale into the 1-minute time frame. And we pushed up into this hourly for value gap, like I said, got the rejection back down, put in that high, and retraced right back down into this 15-minute bullish for value gap. So once we hit this 15-minute bullish for value gap, I scaled into the 1-minute time frame to look for a possible long opportunity to target this high up here. So we put in this low. We put in this low on both NASDAQ and ES. Let me mark this out on NASDAQ as well, because that's a big part of it. 15-minute fair value gap right there. Scale into the 1-minute. And this was the same, as you can see, right here. This and this was the same low. So we ended up taking that low on NASDAQ right down here, but not on ES. So we put in a bullish SMT here, which just gives me more conviction in this trade. So after we put in the SMT, I now need a change in the state to the upside. And when we have an SMT, I prefer to take the trade on the leading index just because it'll more often than not get to the price target sooner. So I'd be mainly leaning towards taking this trade on NASDAQ once we put in this SMT, and NASDAQ's the leading index because it is the higher index. So change in the state after taking out this low on ES right here, taking out this low on ES, series of down close candles. Change in the state would be right here. And once we get that candle close out of that, that's my first entry opportunity, but that's clearly a bad risk reward. So I was waiting for a retrace back down before I could enter. We put in this 1 minute bullish for value gap. I'll put that in black. 1 minute bullish for value gap right here. And we also had 1 minute equilibrium right here as well. I waited for the retrace. Let me move that over. I waited for the retrace, and once we tagged equilibrium inside this bullish for value gap, that's when I entered. I placed my stop below the manipulation low, which is the protected low on this move, and my full only take profit was set at this 5 minute external high. So after I entered, we immediately got a nice reaction back up out of this equilibrium 1 minute for value gap level. And we pushed up and came close to this 1 minute internal high here. But on NASDAQ, it was this high. We took out this high on ES, we took out this high. On NASDAQ, we did not. So we manipulated this 1 minute internal high, putting in a bearish SMT, which isn't great for me on this trade, clearly. And then following this manipulation SMT, we immediately sold off and stopped me out at 10.42 for a losing trade, losing around $680 on this trade. Now, what could I have done better? Well, I clearly know what I clearly know what I did wrong in this trade. So my external bias was bullish, and the higher time frame bearish. My external bias was bearish, and the higher time frames were telling me bearish. I'm fine with the plan to look for longs on this initial move up because my bearish bias needed a high time frame retrace back to a confluence before moving back to the downside. So I'm fine looking for longs up to here, but once we hit this 1 hour bearish for value gap at 10 a.m., I should not have been looking for shorts anymore. I should have said, okay, we're at the key high time frame key level right now. I still need that high to get taken before I can look for shorts, but I'm not going to look for longs because we're at the high time frame key level, and we can easily rotate back to the downside and fulfill my daily bias without even taking out that high, because that's a possibility. It's just for my system and strategy, I'd need that high to get taken out. And clearly that's what we did. We rotated right back down, almost took out this sell side. We're getting a little rebalance now. I'm assuming we're going to rebalance maybe back to equilibrium somewhere in here and then finish the move off. Maybe. We'll see. But that's where I went wrong. If you think about it, I mean, we weren't technically inside the 1 hour bearish for value gap, but we had just hit it. So think about it this way. I pretty much tried to take a long here with a bearish bias at a 1 hour bearish for value gap, which is clearly not something I should be doing. So that's where I went wrong. I shouldn't be trying to force a long position here just because that's what I need to take shorts, but that's just not what the market wants to do. I need to be more reactive rather than looking for. Let me phrase it this way. I was trying to look for a trade and tell the market what it should do instead of seeing what the market's doing and react to that. I need to be more reactive with my trading, and that's clear with this. This was not a trade I should have been looking for once we hit the 1 hour bearish for value gap. So that's about it. A clear, easy fix from this trade. Not a very big loss, so I'm fine with that. Only $680. So yeah, not a big deal. But yeah, that's the trade recap. Down $680 on the day. 0 for 1 on trades today. A losing trade on NASDAQ. And I'll see you guys in any more trade recaps that I have this week.